Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, GH has been fire this week. It's been good all week so far, and this is no exception. This episode, there was some really good stuff. There was some really weird stuff. And I think we all know what I'm talking about, the weird stuff. But let's get to the good stuff. And that is Carly. So after Carly was talking to Cyrus, and Cyrus was like, listen, you give me Gladys, I give you your boy back. So we'll meet at the pier in 1 hour. Ava and Nicholas sees Carly, and out of nowhere, out of all the things they could have sat there and guessed, or Ava could have sat there and guessed, it was like, oh, so Cyrus has someone, right? He has someone kidnapped, right? And I was just like, wait. That was your go-to guess? That was your first try? That was amazing. That just, okay, sure, whatever. So she guessed that, Cyrus had somebody, of Carly's. So Ava was like, listen, like, what are you going to do? And this is after Carly's like, Gladys is in surgery. I can't get Gladys. I don't know what I'm going to do practically. That's not what she said, but, she was like, he wants Gladys. So Ava was like, okay, use me. Nicholas, my goodness, this guy really vexed me in this episode. I understand where he's coming from as far as this concern for her and everything like that, because he's totally against. He's like, yo, listen, this isn't going to work. She is just making this up as she goes. You? No. But Ava was like, no, I'm doing it. First of all, Ava just looked like, yo, you're not the boss of me. Okay, second of all, I backed you on your plan. When I and practically everyone else disagreed with it, I backed you. Do the same for me. Nicholas was like, well, okay, you do what you want. I'm not going to sit there and watch. Alright, bro, then go somewhere else. And he walks off. I'm like, good. I kind of hope I don't really see you for the rest of the episode. Man, was I wrong. So Ava hangs out the car somewhere. Carly calls up Jason, and after confirming that, Jason is up and ready or whatever, she gives him a heads up on Spinelli, and then she starts to enact this plan. So she goes to the warehouse, Jason's en route, and Ava's sitting in the car. Now I'm sitting there thinking, because Ava's like, what's taking so long? I should be there, I should be, getting ready. I was like, they're not going to put, a wig on her, she's just going to walk out, what's your plan? I don't understand, I'm assuming there has to be some plan to that, okay? I cannot believe that they were just not just going to sit there and just have her come out there and looking like Ava, no wig, no nothing, just, she has sunglasses, so I was like, please tell me that's not her disguise. But, before we get to that, Carly says some words, talking about, get out while the getting's good, pretty much. And then Cyrus is like, listen, you should leave while the getting's good. And the way he talks to her, I felt like right at that moment, he was undermining her. And he was starting to get to her. Carly has a good poker face, and probably the men didn't really see it. But after the way that Cyrus was sitting there just breaking it down to her, he made her seem like she was pretty much out of her element. Like she was just getting lucky up until this point. And, well, to be fair, she kind of was. But, with that being said, they exchanged some words. And guess who else they caught? Nicholas. So at this point, Cyrus was like, oh, so, you plan on ambushing me and this guy was going to sit there and take a shot at me. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You just practically crapped on her about her just making it up as she goes along, like she's just incapable and incompetent and stuff like that. And your dumbass is the one that got caught. Are you kidding? The sad thing is that I actually like Nicholas sometimes, but this is one of those things where it's like, you ran your mouth and at the end, you looking like a damn fool. Now the situation is out of control because she didn't account for, well, your dumbass being here, so now Cyrus is like, listen, I'm gonna take him, and I'm gonna take him, and I'll send them their body parts to you. How about that? So at this point, Carly's losing control of this whole situation. Which I was kind of wondering what was exactly the plan. But we saw in the previews, Jason's there. He made it because, he's just... But Jason's just awesome like that. There's really nothing else to sit there and say about that. He's awesome. So I guess we're going to see how this whole thing unfolds. I'm pretty sure someone's going to probably either wind up being shot, or someone's going to wind up being dead. And why do I have a feeling it's going to be Spinelli? I have a feeling it's going to be Spinelli at this point. This whole thing is going to be Spinelli. He's going to be dead. I don't want it to happen, but I feel like this is the direction that they're... I don't know. With these writers, you just don't know. You just don't know. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be Spinelli. I mean, they just got this new actor to sit there and play Nicholas, so he's not going anywhere. Carly's not going anywhere. We're not going to get rid of Jason. So I have a feeling like it's going to be Spinelli. But I guess we'll just see. Because Jason was not there with Britt. They had a nice good talk. And, Jason was just like, listen, I'm going to finish this. Now, I did sit there and say from the beginning that when Cyrus was in town, and Sonny was there, and Sonny was like, we can't sit there and kill him because, if we kill him, they're just going to sit there and send somebody else. Okay, why don't we just kill him and they just send somebody else? It'd be a tomorrow problem or a next month problem, but why don't we just take him out now? I don't really understand. I never really understood why they just kept just keeping him alive as long as they did. It just, like, why? But yeah, I was like, they should just put a bullet in Cyrus a long time ago. And this is a result of not putting a bullet in Cyrus and just being like, oh, we could sit there and try to put him in jail. Like their whole plan at some point was that they're trying to put him back in jail. And I'm like, what was that going to do? This is what happens when you put a bullet in him. This is the result. But yeah, nothing really major happened between Britt and Jason and stuff. They kissed a couple of times. And then Britt was at the cabin by herself. No cell phone, no internet access, just kind of just hanging out for 2 days straight until he comes back. That sounds like torture for me. I don't know. I'm a millennial, okay? I just, like, no cell phone, no internet, no. But, she's sitting up there, sitting down, sitting up there just rethinking about how they had sex, because, I don't know, I guess the dude's just that good, so I don't know. So let's get to the Maxie part of this story. Because this was my second favorite part of this episode. So, oh man, I'm not going to lie. That scene was kind of laughable, but it worked. So Maxie picks up the fire poker. And she hits, what the hell is her name? I think her name is Nurse Jenny. So she hits Nurse Jenny's in the leg. And... I'm not gonna lie, the way she hit her is like she stood there, took the thing, it was like, and the nurse just kind of conveniently turned around right where she wanted her to hit her, like, alright, we good now. I get it. It's a soap opera, it's not really known for their stunt effects or anything like that, but it was it was pretty laughable. I'm not gonna lie, it was actually pretty laughable. So she hits her, knocks her down, she runs out into the woods, and then she's walking around, and then of course at this point I'm sitting there just counting my fingers. 1, 4, 3, 2, and then she starts to go into labor. So she goes into labor. Okay, she's sitting on the ground, going into labor. She sees a flashlight, which I don't know why this person actually had a flashlight in the middle of the daytime, but okay, sure. Has a flashlight, guy, shirtless or whatever. You can't really, you can just see up to here. It's like, oh, okay, this mystery hiker. This mystery hiker is, I had to get up. I had to walk around for a good 2 minutes because I was like, what the f-? Just see. And it's, I think his name is Roger Franco Todd. It's him. He just came back. He just walked back. He just walked in there. Just 1 second. He just walked back in, and now he's a doctor. His name is Austin, and I'm just expected to go. I'm like, what am I watching? It's like these characters are talking, and I'm just like, okay, so we're doing this. A little backstory. It took me a while to get used to the fact that he wasn't... When I first saw this guy, I knew him as Todd Manning. And him going from Todd Manning to him going to Franco wasn't that different. Because I feel like he uses more of his own personality into the characters, into his character, and that's why he works so, and that's why his characters usually work so much. Think of it like this. It's like watching a Will Smith movie. For me, the best Will Smith movies is when he puts his own personality into it. Like if he's doing something like Ali or The Pursuit of Happiness, but he really wasn't that much Will Smith in. But like him not being Will Smith doesn't really work for me. And that's how I feel, the guy who plays, who's played Todd, who played Franco, and is now playing Austin, the doctor. I just was like, you know what, at this point, if Michael Eastwood can go from being Caleb the Vampire, John McBain, to 2 doctors, I'm like, okay, I can just, I can try, okay? I can try. That's the best way I can sit there and put it. I can try. I seriously hope this character works. I remember when they brought back Emily, except for she wasn't Emily, she was Rebecca Shaw, and I was like, yeah, no, this isn't working. And I think they gave her like about 2 months or like maybe 3 months before it just wasn't working out. And then you just didn't see her on the show anymore. And side note, whatever happened to Brad? I'm only sitting there asking that because some guy on YouTube, last name Phoenix, was talking about rumors and people that got fired or whatever. You see a bunch of different characters, and one of them is Brad. And I was sitting there thinking like, when was the last time we actually saw Brad? Like, I never liked that character, so I'm not missing him, I'm just wondering. Anyway, so yeah, Austin helps deliver... I can't believe I'm actually not just saying that name. He helps deliver Max's baby. I don't know if this character's gonna work. I'm hoping this character's gonna work. It's just so weird that Max is sitting there talking to his character like he's a brand new character. Like, we're just supposed to sit there and pretend that we just, like... He has the same face. How like, for me personally, I'm like, how is this gonna work? Anyway, they deliver the baby. Well, she pushes, and I guess the baby comes out. So the baby comes out, and Maxie noticed that the baby isn't crying. And that got me worried. Okay, that got me worried. listen, I know it's a TV show. It's not real, and deaf characters that die, whatever. It's characters. But even when it's a child, it's still it still hits me. Um, just miscarriages in general, like TV or not, it still hits me. Um, but yeah, she was noticing that the baby wasn't crying, and that's when it just stopped. Now we see in the previews that I think Nurse Jenny's is going to be there, so I guess she knocked out Austin. I'm sorry, it's going to take me a little bit to get used to sitting there saying that's his name. I'm assuming that's his name. Austin. I was seriously about to go to Todd. At some point, if I ever actually say Franco, it's just because it's going to take some time. But it seems that Nurse Jenny's is back, and so I guess we'll just wait to see what she got in store for after she practically got nearly a broken leg and hot tea on her face. So yeah, Dante and Sam, because that needed to be a scene. Funny note about that, at least to me. So I guess they are doing their softball game or whatever, and you got Aurora and you got the PCP, the PCPD or whatever. You got Dante and Sam. And Sam, she has her Aurora shirt or her Aurora hat on. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, Sam, when was the last time you actually stepped foot in that office? And yet you just stroll on in there and like, oh, team spirit, go Aurora. And I'm like, this chick hasn't been in the office since like, what, a year, 2 years? You just stroll back on. Yeah, I understand that she still has control or like she's a back end like owner or something like that, but I don't know. To me, I just kind of finding a little kind of funny and kind of insulting. Like, Sam, what do you actually do? Like, what do you do all day? Anyway, they have some scenes. They have some banter, some flirting. There's a tense moment. And then Sam leaves. Dante gets a call, and I guess he's going in to talk to Jordan in the next scene. So in the next episode. Other than that, I was just like, the scene wasn't the worst. You could have left the scene out, and it would have played out the exact same way. Like they were just there for filler. So that was awesome. Valentine and Peter had a scene together. Valentine walked in there and was like, yo, Brooklyn said, somebody was following her. So are you following her? And after interrogation and stuff like that, Peter was like, listen, the one thing that I know about you, that the one redeeming quality about you is that you're a good father. And whether I got this end or not, they'll kill me regardless. So I'm not going to sit there and be following you or anything like that. And Valentine believed her, Valentine believed him, but Valentine was like, listen, I need that antidote. Because, in case something happens and, he's not at the hospital, we need to sit there and give it to him. So Peter said that he'll give it to him, but he walks out and he has a duffel bag, and this is when Valentine noticed that. I think Valentine calls up Anna's like, yo, listen, this dude is leaving town. Now, on the clock, we got 4 hours. We got 4 hours. Peter, falls down steps. Some person in blue scrubs runs downstairs. We don't see who it is, but they seem like they have to have blue scrubs or blue jeans. I'm assuming it's scrubs. I think it's scrubs. I'm sitting there thinking it's probably Liz, if I had to sit there and guess. I don't know why. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't think Liz would actually sit there and push Peter down the stairs. I really don't. But, just my guess. And I'm like, well, it can't be Nurse Jen. Is her name Nurse Jenny's? I think Chloe. Jesus Christ, her name is Chloe. I'm still not redoing this again. Chloe, Jenny, at some point she'll probably be in a dumpster somewhere. Or in jail. But, yeah. I was sitting there thinking it was probably the nurse, but, well, it can't be her, so who is it? Yep, I think that's pretty much about it. Like I said, Jason and Britt had some really good scenes, because Britt, you know, Jason really kind of opened up to Britt, and Britt kind of saw a different side to Jason, not just the killer or whatever. You know, he has feelings and stuff like that, and you know, just kind of get more of the backstory. So they seem like they're getting really close. And here's the thing: when I was not there reading the comment section, no, not the comment section, but just the General Hospital comment section in general, you know, people were sitting there saying that, you know, some people were kind of upset that Britt got the diagnosis that, you know, about the HD. When people, you know, at first I was kind of upset about that too, because I was like, oh, you know, listen, she could sit there and go at any day, and you know, her time is limited on the show. But then I can sit there and look at this and be like, you know what? In a way, that's kind of good, because it will sit there and show her really living every day like it's her last, because it's true, any day could be her last. So I actually, tell you the truth, at first I was kind of mad that they, you know, that she did have the markets for it. But then I kind of looked at it like, you know what? Maybe it's going to be kind of a lesson, you know? Like, sort of like Soul. I've never seen it, but I heard it's a good movie. Has a really good message, and, you know, it's a family movie, so. Yeah, it's a family movie, except for it kind of deals with death, so I don't really know if anyone's ready to really cross that bridge with their child, but if you are, it is a good message. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I think that's pretty much about it. If I missed anything, write it down in the comment section below. Oh, Nicholas, you are... Be safe, everyone. See you in the next video.